April showers bring Mayflowers. This Westberrie story begins all the way back in the early spring, where the trees were just beginning to come alive again.
I am goodbye, I'm a long way from home. I am an orchard at the start of spring. I am a mockingbird, I love to sing, and I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly.
And Sunday drives with the windows down were once again possible.
Walking on my feet, I am laughing neath the weeping willow tree. I am
the small town ice cream shop was packed as usual.
Bee sting. I ain't no angel, but I've got my wings. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly.
Back onto the gravel, we stopped by one of the famous bridges of Madison County.
I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly.
On a riverboat today.
I'm gonna fly. I am moving, I am flesh and bones. I am a gunshot with a microphone. I'm a boy at the window as the summer sun sets.
Not trying to be a, Debbie Downer here, but you have to ask these people. I want to know if that's still true.
What does it say?
I give you my word, I will never stop loving you. If ever in doubt, come back to these bridges and be reminded once again. You hope so. You hope that love story survived the years.
The old 99 is made for these back roads and actually just hit 100,000 miles. Incredible evening sunsets continued and thunderstorms filled the late spring air. We never get tired of these views from the porch. The daylight views are something to see, but the moonlit and star-filled nights put on a show here as well.
Like I can mulch the pathways, so maybe I should just do one big, long, unending bed and still mulch pathways inside of the bed, just not have a driveway. I think 65 is fine.
All right.
I might just make it a little wider than 25.
All right, so then let's go 20. Let's go like 30 that way and see what it looks like. So we're trying out this spot down here for the garden. Kelsey has it marked out right now. I don't know, I think she's doing about 65 by 30 or somewhere around there. We're planning it out as well to be able to drive around with our UTV and make sure that there's enough space on each side of this that you can drive down here too. We're just gonna figure out where the wettest spots are and try to avoid that because this is coming down a hill here and getting to a slight drainage ditch. So we looked at some of the soil out through here. There are some wet spots, but then mostly as it flattens out, it's pretty dry down there. But we're gonna try to till it up today. We don't have a tiller a traditional tiller, I guess. I do have that power rake on the Ventrac, which I'm just gonna try today and see if I can do anything with this soil. It may need to dry out a little more than it has. It's been raining here quite a bit, and today we got a little thunderstorm. Not a whole lot of rain, but it was enough to make this wet again, so we're just gonna have to see. I also had them run an irrigation line down here to this spigot. So this will actually be either well water or rural water, just depending on how I have it switched up there. But we'll plan on using well water down here too. Just too wet. Kels. Just too wet today. I mean, all I'm doing is making a gummy mess.
Yeah.
We attempted to use the Ventrac with the power rake, but things were just a little too wet on this day.
I am fairly certain that that was one of Ryan's least favorite projects he's ever done. And I'll tell you a little bit about why things look a little wonky. So when we moved out to the property, we obviously had no farm equipment, no, supplies or anything like that. And I found a deal on Facebook for some used T-posts for $2 a piece, 8 foot tall. And I thought, we'll use them somewhere. So here we are. The thing about my garden this year is it's fairly experimental. I have some ideas on some pest control fence. I don't know if they're going to work. I have never worked with this soil, so it's kind of a shot in the dark a little bit. I mean, this is our first garden out here. So Ryan is the type of person who wants to do things right the first time. I think that's a great way of doing things, but in this case, we use what we have, and this is what we have. So we're gonna call this Kelsey's Eclectic Garden. It will be a mishmash of materials to try and prevent pest damage, to keep things in and out, and that's where we are. But I think it functions, I think it's great, and I'm ready to get going in the dirt.
You like it? Keep going. Alright, stay right there.
The time had finally come for installation of our storm shelter, and now we have an EF5 rated safe space right inside the shop. The beauty of summer was fully upon us.
Cows are right over there.
We don't get to spend as much time in the camp area as we would like, but we set aside some time this evening to make a meal and watch a movie as the darkness fell.
Blackberries are starting to flower. all of these plants here with white flowers on it, all blackberries. Quite a few bees around here too.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I can't think that a piece of rotten wood wouldn't burn.
You don't want to bring them down in the snow, do you?
Mr. Gibbs, that will do.
She was singing about pirates.
Doesn't have any there. Must have got.
On another summer evening, as the moon began to show high in the sky, the fog rolled into the valley with its mysterious presence. We moved to the country to spend our days outside working the land, and I spent one afternoon mowing down the cover crop in this field in preparation for more grass planting this fall. Meanwhile, we rented a tiller so Kelsey could continue the next phase of her garden. Ernie really likes to roam the property with us, and on this morning we were checking the garden after a big rainstorm.
Hey.
Well, everything stayed pretty.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed actually. This area of cardboard showing here I left because I want to expand out that mulch. Please don't roll in that. He remembers that rabbit that was over there. Be time to get fence up this week because the only thing above ground is the tomatoes. This is my green beans. Okay, I gotta put that one back in the ground, but look at that. So the seed casing is wearing off. Let me get you some more dirt. So good. Wow, these are huge.
The mulberries were ready for picking, and a few of our prized black raspberries were ripe too.
Because you never quite know what you're going to select. Your favorites. Oops.
Yeah, those look good.
Oh, yeah.
Are the more red ones, so those wouldn't be as ripe, right?
Right, they're
you want
gonna be a
like
little
the
more
darker,
sour. Right.
like these.
Right. The tinge of red are gonna, I mean, they're still edible, but they're gonna be sour.
Yeah, this one's, let's see. Here's one that's a little more done. Try that.
Yeah, they're super sweet when their sugar's developed.
Yeah, you should.
Summer flowers were fully alive as we took another trip into the countryside.
When we say we take the back roads, we take the back roads. It's actually kind of fun because it's like riding on a real smooth.
Yeah. There was like 15 of them in that tree.
These unplanned trips are truly something we cherish as we explore the area. Back at Westberrie, we were loving the shop house life and utilizing both the living and the shop spaces for so many different things. Kelsey was quickly turning fresh berries into desserts right out of the oven. Like many throughout the country this year, we've been experiencing smoke-filled days from the wildfires in Canada. It's led to unique-looking skies and shadows and haze-filled days. Kelsey's been working hard on the garden, and I stopped on this morning to take in the ever-changing landscape of our land. The blackberries are abundant this season. We found some wild pears. And there's so much more that can often be overlooked if you don't take a moment to appreciate this wild space. The corn now stands tall out the shop windows and towers over the side of the building. And our wildflower patch is getting better and better by the day. The final few seeds were planted in the garden, and at least for this year, that is a huge accomplishment.
I'm done. I completed it. Not going to produce much, but it's here.
Well, back on the porch today and a nice, I don't know, there's a nice breeze, I guess, but it's a very, very smoky day here.
We've been spoiled with great weather this summer. Usually it's dry and 90 plus degrees, and we've had some really great cool nights and gotten to enjoy some time outside. We've actually had some rain, so I can't complain.
Yep. We thought we would just come back today, update you on a few things since it has been quite a while. We just, as we said in the last video, we knew that our lawn season was coming, and it is more than overwhelming as far as our time and everything for what we have to do for that business. So we knew that that was coming, but today we just wanted to give you some updates over time here as to what has gone on, really just trying to get our life in order still. It's been 1 year, just over a year, I think.
1 year and 10 days since we broke ground. We look around and we think of all the things that aren't finished yet or didn't get done before the deadlines that we set, but when you really look at it, for 375-day period to have a lawn and landscape and a structure, and we're living in it, and it's highly functional and 85%, 90% finished. I mean, I think we have a lot to be proud of, so we are very proud of that.
Yep. And Kels today wanted to obviously go over her garden a little bit. I know people have been wondering what's going on. Did she get a garden in? And it's been a challenge. But
my dad keeps asking me, so how's your garden doing? I'm like, well, I'm not done planting. But as of today, I'm done planting. So I decided to give myself a little bit of grace this year. I'm determined that I was going to get this garden finished. Whether or not it produces a darn thing, I don't know. And that's no longer the goal. The goal was completion. I needed to get fencing up. We needed to get posts in. I wanted to separate it into walkways so it was easier to get to places. So I got some walkways put down. I did decide to do kind of a half and half experiment because I'm learning a little bit about our soil here. It's very different from what we worked with at our old house. So we did our lasagna gardening on one half of the garden this year and the other half not. Kind of learning that maybe that's not going to be the path forward for us here, or at least not in the way that I'm used to doing it. So I've got some things to work out and some things to learn there. But I was determined that I was going to get everything at least checked off the list. So as of today, we have everything that I wanted to get planted in the ground. I think I'm going to battle some pests yet this year. I already have. Now we're on to management, and hopefully I'll at least pull one tomato. I don't know.
Well, there's some tomatoes growing right now, so as long as nothing comes in there and snatches all of them, I would think you're going to get something out of it. But it's not going to probably produce quite as much as you had last season, but you had a garden that had been there for quite a while, just like all my lawn stuff where you got to think about maturity of plants and everything too. I often forget that we're on year one essentially of starting over on so many different things, and so it will take some time, but the fencing thing will get it all sorted out. And
we're at phase 1, and phase 2 is in progress of learning what things we need to change now. So that's where we are. But it's done, it's in. I'm just taking care of it and trying to keep things alive.
And then aside from that, really not a lot has changed on the interior. Obviously, a few things have gotten a little more organized. We've moved some more boxes out of the shop and put them into closets. And might not be finished closets, but they're at least...
I have one closet with shelves, and that's in our master bathroom. And for now, I'm just proud of that. It's going to take some time to design things, but I think we're learning about how we're using our spaces and what things we want permanently stored in there versus what kind of needs to go. So there will be a lot of closet designing coming this fall and winter.
Yeah, so there's not, I guess, really a lot to show in there change-wise at this point, but maybe later on this year as we finish out a few more spaces, we'll be able to show you a few of the things that have gone on in there. But right now, not a lot to update on that.
Right. We have installed our front yard landscape. We put in some cedar planter boxes just for a little bit of depth and height, and we've got a lot of natives here seeing the benefits of that, and things are really kind of coming in. Our pH in our soil is very different out here, so we're learning, how that's impacting our plants and kind of what amendments we need to make to keep things really thriving. But things are really filling in and kind of getting established. So now it feels like they're actually taking hold. So that's good.
Yep.
So we are wrapping up the black raspberry season. Thankfully, as I mentioned, we got some more rain this year, more than we ever have since we've been out here. So last year we did not get to collect very much in the way of berries, but black raspberry season was pretty lucrative. I think we collected probably about 40 cups of berries, so that was pretty good. What is really going to be a bumper crop this year, as long as the weather holds out and cooperates, will be the blackberries. So this will be the year where I have a long list of things that I want to try and kind of just experiment with, and so I'm excited to do that. But we will start collecting blackberries this week, so here we go.
Unfortunately, we don't love those quite as much as the black raspberries, so we kind of wish it was switched around, maybe that we had more black raspberries than blackberries, but I think you have some good ideas on things to try this season, which we didn't get to try last year because we just didn't have that many of them.
Yeah, the blackberries are a little bit more tart, where the black raspberries are a little bit more sweet. So those are just a little bit, tastier as far as we're concerned. But got some things to share about our dogs. One of our dogs, Fiona, was diagnosed recently with dementia, which is a new thing that I've never dealt with as far as care for our animals. So her care has changed a lot, and they've needed a lot of adjustment time getting into the new place. So there have been a lot of demands on our time, but we are excited to actually start accomplishing things again. Not that we haven't been accomplishing things, but to actually get all of the things crossed off the list so we can call it complete.
That'll never happen.
That's probably true.
We thank you for spending some time with us again today, and thank you for watching.
Yes, we'll see you in the next one.